everyone, it's me Blessing. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Global Nurse Stories. Thank you for the support so far. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing. And thank you for the comments. In my previous video, I talked about what inspired me to be a nurse and what inspired me to come to the United States to practice as a nurse. So if you have not watched that video, do well to go back and watch my previous video. So today, I want to talk about how I got adapted into the US healthcare system. Before I left my home country, Nigeria, the agency that brought us to the United States got some preparation on what to expect. Like I did my interview while in my home country with the hospital I'll be working with, made me to know there are a lot of things I'll have to learn when I get there. The agency prepared me by giving me skill set tests to practice before coming, some continuous education in line with the kind of job I'm coming to do here in the United States. And they also put me through some typing tests because back home we do paper chatting, but the hospital I'm going to work, they do electronic documentation. So I've passed through all those steps before coming. So getting to the United States, I have 6 weeks of orientation. The first week of orientation was in class, where different department was coming to class to tell us what they do, like the security department, the nutrition department. Several departments were coming to tell us what to do. This facility also did BLS for me. They did not accept the one I already had while I was in Nigeria. So I did my basic life support training with this facility. Into the computer room, the kind of electronic documentation they were using. All these things were just looking like drama to me. That those days, like, how am I going to get in all this information? I remember getting home telling my husband that there are lots of information to process and all that. It just keep on encouraging me that you can do this. And that means a lot to me, helped me to continue to push forward. So don't forget, back home I worked in the pure psychiatric setting, which is behavioral health setting. In the hospital where I worked is basically psychiatric patients we're taking care of. So we don't do things like IVs, we don't do blood transfusion, we don't do antibiotics, IV antibiotics like that. If any patients have any medical condition, we transfer them to a teaching hospital where they have multidisciplinary providers to take care of them. So I got employed into this, and my role will be a medical and psychiatric nurse. I was posted to a med psych unit, so that means I have to learn a lot of medical. My first day on the unit, when they were introducing me to the floor, some medical bed, patient getting IV fluids, patients on suctioning machine, patients on oxygen. You could know how my heart was pumping that day. You could imagine, like, my heart was pumping that, wow, is this what I'm coming to do? But then I have a preceptor, and my orientation was 6 weeks. I have to be following my preceptor around to see how she's doing things, just to shadow her. They saw us as experienced nurses back home, but we have to let them know, like reorient them to let them know how practice nursing is different back home compared to how they're practicing it here. So I did that 6 weeks orientation, learning new skills, and it got to a point I started telling my preceptor, let me do it while you observe and give me feedback on how I did it. And that was how I started getting used to how those things are being used. You know, when you keep on doing things over and over, it's going to click, then you master it. Coupled with the fact that these are the things that I've had before being a nurse. I've had theoretical knowledge of it. It's just handling it practically. That was the issue. Now I have tools to work with. I have machines to work with. Read telemetry, how to do a lot of things. And with time, I got used to it, and I started having my home patients. So let me chip this in. Rome was not built in a day. Learning and change is a continuous thing. I know to change might be very difficult. There will be a lot of resistances. But then, if you think you can, you can. So don't give up because you see a lot of things that looks like challenges doesn't mean you cannot do it. Nobody was born with all those skills. They too learned it. So it's something that one can actually do. For me to be able to adapt, then anybody can adapt. For me to be able to do all those things, anybody can do it. Because on this floor, I grew to the point of becoming a charge nurse before I finished my contract with them. So that's how growth mindset can take somebody in life, because I didn't limit myself. I try to put myself in those difficult situations, difficult scenario, and see how it's being done. Ask for help when necessary. Working in a facility like this, you need to know a lot of things, like knowing what the hospital policy is saying concerning different procedures. There are a lot of resources to back on. Nurse on the shift, there's always a charge nurse on the shift, there's always a supervisor. So there's somebody that you can escalate the matter to if you are not sure. So if you are not sure, don't go ahead. Try and clarify. Save you a lot of stress and a lot of writing, incident reports and all that. Try and get used to the hospital policy. Try and familiarize yourself with how things are being done and make yourself friendly. I know a lot of things that people will be like, where are you from? You have accent. Where are you from? You have accent. I didn't let all those things to debar me. My shoulders high, I'll tell them where I came from. We just laugh over it. And if I say anything unique about them or that I need clarification to, I don't hesitate to ask them. So if you can ask me or tell me I have accent, then I should be able to ask you, why did you do this and all that? Then you'll be able to understand the cultural differences better. I was able to adapt. I was able to get over all those fears, coupled with all the resources. I made use of the resources I had. The agency were calling like every 2 weeks to ask how things were going, and I was giving them feedback, and that was it. I hope this video inspires somebody or someone that's just started or just imagining in their head that how am I going to be able to fit into the system. I tell you can do it. There are lots of resources to back on, and there are lots of materials and equipment. Here they don't manage things, so that's a plus for us. Like you have what you need at the time you needed it. That makes the job easy. If you are still contemplating whether you want to take that leap, this video is to remind you that it's worth it. If you can conceive it in your mind, then you can achieve it. Thank you. I'll stop here, and please don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you. Bye.